raise all of her own money. She did through babysitting, and she did a lot of it. So, my advice is start getting to work. Start getting to work. I would like the fundraising committee just to have a say here and present some stuff, and then I'll open up to a few questions, and then we're done.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kingsbury. A few of us are here tonight. Not everybody could make it. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Carolyn Hanson. I'm Callista's mom.
And Kim's handing out.
Kim, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Kim Whitcomb, and I am Amber's mom on the girls' team, 06 Club.
And we have a few other, we have some handouts that we're handing around. We have a few other people on our committee that couldn't be here tonight. Christine Dunbar, Mike Lohner, and Betsy Vick are on the committee as well. So you guys are gonna get the handouts and probably be a little overwhelmed because it looks a little overwhelming, all the events that we've put together. But this is all basically based on what teams in the years before us have done with some slight modifications. And as Todd just said, with everybody working together, we think we can make our goal, which is $55,000. Actually, I'm not reading what we were going to, but our goal is $55,000. And if we make that, the first $7,200 goes towards the chaperones. And after that, each player will get about $1,100 towards the cost of their trip. But there are some requirements. You do have to be involved, and your kids have to be involved in order to get the money. So.
Okay, so the important thing is the contract, which we're handing out a copy of it now. The contract outlines the general fundraising goals, and it talks about offsetting the chaperone fees. It also outlines the requirements, and I feel like that's the most important part of that contract is the requirements. The first requirement is to participate in all 5 of the events required, and they're shown in the sheet in orange. So each of those events shown in orange, you should be participating in order to get equal fundraising credit.
Was it your intention for us to get a copy of that?
They're coming around.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm like,
yeah, so that's really
You have to
important.
guess.
So, to participate in 5 out of the 5 required events in orange. Number 2 is to participate in 5 out of the remaining 16 events. So we have potentially 21 events on here. As Todd said, we hope you participate in more, but just to do the minimum, it's 5 out of 5 are required and then 5 other ones. And the requirements are outlined in here. So for example, the concessions, it's the kids should be working a 2-hour shift and donating one thing to that. And we will distribute sign-up geniuses, and that leads to the 3rd required, which is to help organize an event. And it sounds, I feel like, overwhelming, but we don't mean that you have to do it all. We're hoping that you find another family that you can pair up with, and the kids that are going can pair up, and as a group, you can organize one of those events. And the events that we need chairs for are in yellow, and there's a lot of them because we can't do it all. We need your help to meet the goal. And I feel like I went through this with my older daughter, and the best way to get the word out and to exceed the goals on here is for the kids to help us get the word out. So when we have events and you see a flyer, don't just look at it and then close the email. Print it out and hang it up in your schools. Come here on futsal nights and hand out a little flyer, whatever it takes to get the word out, because we're hoping to get money from outside of this group, right? And if we're always the ones that are forming the teams and bringing all of the corporate donations or whatever it is, it's just moving money around our pockets. We want outside groups from your schools and your friends to come to these events and help us raise the money. So the fundraising form actually is here, and that's the commitment. You can either return it to us tonight if you know that you're in, or you can email it to me, and it's at the bottom of the page, my email information, or you can mail it. Another note on here is where we need chairs. It's important to note that the items in red where it says concessions, that means you're only doing concessions for that event. So for example, on November 3rd, there's a middle school tournament. The club does the middle school tournament. We are only there to provide the concessions. The only event that we're actually doing as a Holland fundraiser is the 3v3 December the 7th. And that's a requirement for each kid going on the trip to come up with a team of your own. So it's not to find another person going on the trip to form a team, because that's not getting money from the outside. We're hoping that each kid forms their own team. So if you find a buddy and two of you form a team, it's not going to be each of you getting credit. We would only give one team credit for that. So it's important to find people from outside of the club to form those teams. I think that's it, unless there's questions on the contract. I think Carolyn was going to talk a little bit more about the plan.
Oh, I thought I was supposed to talk about the contract, but, okay. So the plan is that parents, we're not going to do all of this work, obviously. I mean, we want our kids to be the ones doing this work. I mean, that's part of what Todd was talking about, is this is part of getting excited about the trip, right? Is you guys investing your time and working towards a goal of going on this trip. And it's going to be fun. So we have some events here that are group events. Like the first one that's coming up is a soccer golf tournament. So just as Kim was saying, what you should do, Joshua, is put together a team of not other far post players, but like 3 other people who don't have any connection to far post that'll come and play with you, and you'll have a team of 4. And so the idea is that you guys start doing some group events together, get to know each other a little better in case you don't already know each other, and then selling stuff. Like you're going to be selling this stuff, right? Not your parents. Maybe they'll help, maybe they'll take the thing into their work, and maybe somebody will sign up to buy cookies, but you guys are selling the cookie dough. You guys are the ones doing the fundraising, not us. We're here to lead you, and your parents are going to help. They're going to help chair events, but it's you guys that are going to do the actual work of raising this money, and it's going to be fun. And this gives you a general idea of what the activities are so far. If somebody has a great idea and they want to add something to this, great. It gives you a sort of a plan. We're trying not to have too many things, so you feel like you're doing, a gazillion things every month. It's kind of spread out. You don't have to remember all of these things. Kim has graciously volunteered to be sort of your contact person. So once you sign your contract, she'll be helping you, like, have you met your obligation to do X, Y, or Z? You can ask her, and she'll let you know if you've done that one or not. Yes?
So 5 required events, 5 additional events, plus 1 chair per household or per parent?
Per player that's going on.
Per player, okay.
Yeah,
That's
right,
what
yeah.
I'm sort of asking.
Yeah.
I'm like, because that's 22.
Yeah, no, it's each player. So, right, it doesn't
Yeah,
have
that
to
makes
be
sense.
one person, we're hoping. And we should say too that everything on here are estimates. If we don't get chairs for these events, then the amount that we earn per player is gonna be down. So we're hoping to get all of these events filled up with help, right? If we don't wanna have to cancel an event because we don't have enough help. So that's what we're up here to ask for, is your help.
Does anybody else have questions about how the fundraising works? I mean, the cool thing is you'll be getting these payments that you'll be making, and then if we do a good job, at the very end, Todd's going to credit all of you with the amount of money we make. So the more money we raise, the more money you get back at the end. And so kids, keep that in mind, that, even though it says you have to do 5 events, I mean, most of these events are fun things that you could be doing with your friends. Like if you're going to go out and sell cookie dough, grab 2 other friends that are also going on the Holland trip and go do it together. So you can do more, and we can make more than what we have to make.
One last idea is that some of these things on here, like selling the raffles, when I first looked at this years ago, I thought that it was a really high goal. And we came up with the idea of just going to the local market and asking them if we could set up a table, and they said, sure. So 2 friends went and they set up a table, and they killed it. They exceeded the goal in 1 day of just sitting at a market. So
It works really well.
yeah.
Children's supermarket.
Yes.
I just had a quick question. In terms of the chairs, if we have a chance to go, if we have a chance to look through, could we email one of you in terms of where we want
Yeah, you can email me, and my
Okay.
contact information is at the bottom of the contract.
Okay.
And we were thinking to do it just first come, first serve, so if we have people that volunteer tonight and we fill in those holes, then
Yeah.
it's gonna be filled in a lot faster, so, thank you.
Yeah, but if you have like more than one person, we'll just
Yeah,
chair
we'll
them,
just
chair them up
share
as co-chairs.
together.
Pair them up
Yeah,
as co-chairs,
absolutely, we're
yeah.
not thinking one,
Yeah.
one family.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
I also just wanted to thank you guys for doing all this. I mean, we all have a lot of work to do, but this represents a huge amount of work, so good work.
Will there be like a document that will show how much each family has done as we're going along? I think that a couple of years ago we did that and it worked well, but I'm just curious if you guys are planning.
Yes, I actually have documents from the treasurer from the prior year and 2 years ago that outlines. And so what they did is basically took this chart and each kid had their name on here, and we did it in private. So they handed them out a couple of times during the year to say, here's where you're at,
Yeah,
and
it's
here's
super helpful,
what you've
I
met. So I plan on doing that.
Do you guys also have documentation, like if I sign up to be the chair of something that says, oh, here's the 3 things you gotta do, or the 5 things? Is there any sort of like learning that gets passed along? Or am I just like, oh?
No, we have
some.
We have some.
Yeah.
We have contact names of the
Yeah.
prior year of
Okay.
chair, so we're willing to share that with
That's
you.
great.
And some of the, like, the 3v3, it's really easy. I mean, I will manage that. I will take in all the teams, I'll do the schedule, I'll manage the event. I just need someone to collect money.
Yeah, I put
And-
myself in as the chair.
No,
But if anyone wants to join me.
things like the same as practice soccer, things like that. Yeah. Those types of things, I'll like, this is what I need, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
The football is in October, so please help us get the word out. I gave you all a handout on that, and the sign-up information is there as well.
And there's a limited number of teams that can play football, which
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah,
but
there is a
There
limit.
is, so if you know your kiddo wants a team, we really want to collect the money ahead of time. We don't want to be collecting it the day of the
You
event.
don't want to do it at the day of the event. You
sorry.
don't want to do it at the day of the event, because
Right.
then they'll drop out.
Right. So what we're hoping is any of you guys that want to do this, go ahead and get a team, because I think we can only have 2 teams on a hole.
Yeah.
So, and we're playing 9 holes, so 18 teams. There you go. And it would be nice if we could register more, but we just can't. So if you want to play, sign up now. And we both have had kids go, so if you have questions too, parents, or Callista's been to Amsterdam and to Maastricht. Guys, if you guys have questions about it, there's,
Our older daughter went too, so.
yeah,
That's
so, and Christy's has a kid who's been, so we have lots of parents that have had a kid already go. If you have any questions that you don't want to ask Todd.
Are we supposed to be doing something for the fantasy right now? The fantasy league?
That sign up already went out, and so if you
Okay.
signed up for it, there's nothing left to do. You either
Oh,
sign
I
up
didn't
or
know
you
we should
didn't.
be helping promote it
The deadline was Friday, right? Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah.
But I had a question about that, because Jackson's doing it, he said there's some more kids that are added, so is there an option for people to sign up? Like, I know.
I don't know.
You don't know the start of the
I can,
year,
we can
but
ask Sean.
We can get you, if you're interested, we can get you in contact with the person who's organizing it. Maybe there's a link.
Everything?
Thank you, guys. So last thing, I'm asking everybody to fill out a questionnaire. All it is just make sure player's name. For if you're maybe and you still need to think about it, or you need other questions or need some concerns to be sort of eased, just write a note on this, and then I'll reach out to you each individually. And this also, I mean, the fundraising group has already talked about it. There's a question on here about the fundraising committee if you want to be a part of it. So I'm going to have, just pass these out. Okay. But you don't have to pass them, just take one. That's fine. Take one. Yeah. And does anybody have any questions? Any general questions? Yeah.
I have a question. I have a kid who's got a food allergy.
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes, so the food allergy is a good question. We've traveled with so many kids with a food allergy, and some very severe food allergies. And what I do is I actually meet really closely with each of the youth hostels, and Yost meets with them too. And when we get there, we actually go into the cafeteria. We meet with their cook. We talk about their food allergy, and if there's an issue, we make other arrangements. But we've been able to manage that very easily. So. The kids can ask questions too. If no one has any questions. All right.
The money that you make from like selling cookie dough and stuff, does that go to us, or is it like?
Good. So you are expected to make a certain amount, and then if you make more, that doesn't necessarily go to you. It goes to everyone. And so I've known some kids like Hubie. Anybody know Hubie? Like he killed it last year. Like in everything he was doing, he was making more. And the family, what we made the decisions, we make sure it's shared equally amongst everyone. Because we've done it in the other ways, and then people start biting. So what I'm hoping is everybody's like, you know what? I'm going to beat the expectation. Don't do the bare minimum. Do more.
Do we hold on to our the money we raise individually, or is one person?
At one of the orientations, we'll talk about spending money. So if you make some money that you're going to spend in the grocery store, or getting an ice cream, or Belgian waffle, or PSV jacket, or something like that, that's money you need to hold on yourself. Okay.
Not like the fundraising money.
The fundraising money.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like from concessions.
So if you get a team for the Galactic, the team for the 3v3 tournament, is that what you're talking about?
Oh no, if we sell cookie dough or something, we earn money from that. Does one parent hold on to it, or
So you will have to turn it in at a certain time, and the treasurer of the fundraising committee will make note of it. Then we'll go to our bookkeeper, and we'll keep it in a special account. So.
I know this is nothing to do with this trip for soccer or anything, but you mentioned a Belgian waffle. What is the difference between a normal waffle and the waffle?
You'll see.
Well,
I can't tell you, but you'll see. And trust me,
I don't like waffles, so I'm not good.
well, I think you'll like a Belgian waffle. Guarantee it.
You guarantee it?
I guarantee it.
I'm going to take your word for that.
Yeah.
Mr. Todd.
It's not a fundraising question, is it okay?
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
So my sister lives in Holland, in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So when they have downtime at the youth hostel, do you think she would be able to go and see them?
So we've had times in the past where we've had dads or grandparents or moms or relatives saying, can we have time? And we've had bad experiences with that.
Okay.
And so I've made a rule that they're with this team. They're with this team, meaning the team of people traveling, and that they can't be taken away.
No, not taken away. Would she be able just to go hang out an hour wherever
Yeah,
you are, or no?
they can come visit at the
Yeah.
youth hostel, but we are asking that they not be removed.
Okay.
So, we've had situations where dads we had this one situation where his dad's like, I'm there on business, can I get a bus ride to go to the professional game? And we've sat there waiting for him, and we left him. We've tried to be accommodating, and some people are good and some people aren't, so we just basically say,
Okay.
I may have missed this, but back to the sheet.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a shared Google Doc so that we can watch what gets filled in, or is there going to be a way to contact, I want to help
whoever would want to help.
I know last year they had a Google Doc. I don't think it was open
We're
to
just
everyone,
going to
but
certain person to.
yeah.
Yeah, you can send it to me, and if you look at the bottom of
I
the
saw
contract,
yours. I just
yeah,
didn't
you
know
can
if
send it to me.
Okay. Just,
And I will recirculate this once we update it. Like I said, it's a draft form now, so I'll send it around a few times throughout the process.
okay.
All right. So if you guys can fill out those questionnaires, if you're not doing it, you have your mom or your dad do it. And thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you.
Todd, do you want us to share that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Please take the chairs and bring them downstairs and just stack them back up.